Self-awareness, how to gain a greater understanding of yourself. So basically, this is how we will be aware of ourselves. What is my strength? What is my weaknesses? Come, let us visit this particular topic in today's presentation. So, why is a positive self-concept so important? This is very important thing. If you don't have positivity in and around you or self-concept, you are going into depression. So please have an optimistic view of yourself, optimistic of the life. What are the some of the strategies that can improve your self-concepts? Yes, I will be discussing them one by one in this particular things. So what is the emotional intelligence? This is what we need to understand. What is the emotional intelligence or EI? It is the ability to identify the use, understand, and manage emotion in a positive way, to relieve stress, communicate effectively and empathize with others, and overcome challenges and diffuse conflict. So this is what we will be talking about it, the ability to identify, use, understand, and manage emotions in a positive way to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. So it's a better understanding of yourself as to what is happening with your emotion and thought process and how do you negate them. And this is what emotional intelligence is all about. So, on the components of EIs will be self and social. Remember this what we need to go around it. One is individual and one is community, as the case might be. The other thing is on the recognition and the regulation fact. So, if you recognize yourself, you are self-aware, and this is what we at the topic of the day is all about it. Self-awareness, how to gain a greater understanding of yourself altogether. So that is what we are looking into it. But how do I identify and earn my self awareness through society or through community? So, when people start communicating with us, when I keep on communicating with the community all together, communication with the community, what happens is then and there I will understand my worth for it. So, how do I build upon social awareness? One is my own awareness and my own management of emotion, the self-management that goes around it. Remember, this is all about regulation that we're talking about. So when we can start regulating self-awareness and self-management with social awareness, it is we are going for a relationship building. That means there is a formation of bond that is taking place out here, and that is what we are looking into it. Let us revisit the four areas of emotional intelligence: the self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Remember, these are the four areas that helps you to become a healthy, vibrant person. So first of the following phrases describes know your emotions. Now, once you are aware of your emotion, can you manage the emotion of others? Once you start managing the emotion of your others, after that you will start managing your own emotions, because now it is time about your reaction that comes around it, and then understand the emotions of other. So first know your emotions, manage emotions of other, because you will only be able to know them when you start managing their emotions. Then now it is time for you to react, and in this reaction, manage, curtail down your emotional content altogether, be realistic, be logical, and thereafter build bridges to understand the emotions of the other. So let me understand the four areas. There are awareness of emotions, yes, self control, positive attitude, organizational awareness. Now, this is what we need to around it, in which position a person is occupying, in what dignity, or should I say, what capacity the person is operating upon it. Recognitions of the others, accurate self assessment, achievement, self confidence, effective communication is what we are looking into it. Empathy, teamwork, service, negotiation skills, and adaptability is what is the point of discussion in this particular presentation. This is what EI is all about. It EI, emotional intelligence, is all about positivity, self control, recognitions of others, accurate assessment both of self and others, building self confidence, teamwork, and so on and so forth. Remember, everything can be broken down. So let us understand the personal characteristics. What is your interest? What is your like? What is your dislike? So your self concepts, the people have inferiority complexes or superiority complexes. Now, what is that self-concept? That you are inferior to everyone. For an inferiority complex or superiority complex means you are superior to everyone and everybody is a minuscule person in and around you. So that is what the self-concept is all about. It. Attitude is an opinion or general feeling about something. Aptitude, a natural tendency to do something well, also known as your talent, which you need to go around it, further develop about it. Yes, this is the point where we come around talking about your personality, the totality of qualities and traits as a characters and behavior that are peculiar to a specific person. There it is the self-esteem, a feeling of self-worth, of confidence, and it is how you value yourself is what self-esteem is all about. It. So remember, in personal characteristic is self-concepts, attitude, aptitude, personality, and self-esteem that comes around it. This is what we are looking forward it. So let us understand the preferences this time. Now, probably which all school, which all courses, which all associations, institutions that you have been associated with, the interest service, let us understand what is your career interest that goes around it, what is your hobby interest that goes around it, what are the work environment that you look into it, the job, the tasks that you are comfortable in, the data, the people handling skills, things handling skills, are you a tech savvy, are you a is your people skill very good, is your data handling, data manipulation skill, data mining skills are very handy, how do you go about it? Thereby you now have to come about with the be the abilities of strength, skills, and talent. Yes, it is your talent, it is your personal abilities which will make a mark in the society or the community per se. So, talking about traits, your verbal communication, how good are you? What is your repository of your words? How well do you express yourself? How well do people relate to you? Numerical abilities or numerical talent, are you good with numbers? Clerical talent is as on when on the rudimentary works, are you good with the uh, good with good with any procedures or anything which is done in, given in, to you in black and white. Manual dexterity with your both your hands, are you as skillful as you can claim to be, or is one hand being more dominant than the other one? So mechanical reasonings is where we understand the measurement of basic mechanical principle, spatial and visuals as an example. So let us understand the strengths. Utilizations of resources, interpersonal skills, also known as the social skills, display of friendliness and sensitivity to the needs of others through communication and listening, that is, interacting with others in positive way. Use of information technology, basic skills are those foundation skills in reading and writing, mathematics, English as a second language. In addition, it includes learning skills and study skills, which are both necessary for students to succeed at a college level. Thinking skills and personality skills. Identify and interpret intelligent quotient. This is what we are very looking forward to. Intelligent quotients. Remember, it is good and it's more or less stable throughout our life. So please try to understand what is your skill and what is your strength. Are you good with technology? Are you good with information? What is your basic skill that comes around it, comes in handy? Is the let's say Erickson's psychosocial development. You look at it from 60, from an infant or around 6 months to 18 months. If you look around it, psychosocial crises are trust and mistrust, as in whom to trust whenever a child is crying, who gets the attention, and you tends to start trusting that person. 18 to 3 years is autonomy, shame, and doubt, where you are aware of certain things about life, and probably you might be agreeing to it, might not be agreeing to it. 3 to 5 years is initiative of guilt, vis-a-vis guilt as in concern. So yes, these are the things that goes around it. As we age, it becomes industries versus inferiority. Do you work with with effort, with strength, with all your cognitive abilities, or do you suffer from inferiority complex with the fact that you gave easily to the circumstances? So that is not an issue. Identity versus role confusion. Then comes intimacy versus isolation. Do you want to get intimate with particular situation or particular thing, or do you want to avoid those situations in isolation altogether? So generativity versus stagnation, and ego integrity versus despair, as the case might be. So let us understand the personal characteristics one by one altogether for you to understand. First is the positivity and negativity personality traits. People are honest to a various degree. People are dependable to a various degree, or unreliable or dishonest as the case might be. People are responsible to a various degrees, maybe irresponsible. People, the integrity is to be believed in, or they are, again, it changes into various degrees and how corrupt that people can go around it. People can be loyalty or disloyal, absolutely, on the positive and the negative aspect the case might be. Let us understand the learning preferences of the style, as in verbal versus linguistic. People who would live write lengthy answers, give a detailed explanation, or there will be people who will give you exact answer and the short logical explanation altogether. So logical mathematicians, visual spatial people who can imagine things visually, bodily or kinetics, in which the physical abilities of the person is on a stronger side as the case might be. Musically, people are endowed with interpersonal is existing or occurring between two persons. Intrapersonals is existing or occurring within the individual's self or mind, and naturalistic as the case might be. So this is what about personal learning style and learning preferences is all about. Next is of learning style, the way the person takes in and process information. That is tactile versus kinesthetic, in which a person is quite cognitively spearheading the things, or physically spearheading the things. Auditory, the listening skills, and the visual skills as the case might be. Now, this is what the learning styles would all be talking around here. Now we'll talk about the work values, the needs. Yes, people have different kinds of values. Let's say in terms of integrity, loyalty, security, wisdom. There are people who have got different needs also, apart from the basic needs, which is food, water, shelter, and so on and so forth. People have different kind of drives altogether, and this is what makes their work value much more ethical or unethical. Let us understand the work value and need a little in depth. I'll just give you an understanding of what responsibility is all about. People might be responsible to a various degree. From the, if it is on a scale of 1 to 10, people might be responsible, least responsible, or most responsible in the scale of 10, 1 and 10. So relationship also, people may commit, may not commit, may partially commit, and so on and so forth. Altruism, feeling that behavior and show a desire to help others, a lack of selfishness that becomes around it. Compassion is another thing that is much more figuratively interesting, where people actually feel for the other person. Courage, achievement, recognition, creativity, independence. Remember, these are the things that actually people value. People value somebody applauding. People value being acknowledged in front of a large crowd. People value acknowledging only in front of their parents. You have different requirements: prestige, the respect, the admiration, someone or something, the money or the salary, the security, surroundings, variety, and ethics that comes around. That is what we are talking around is. Remember, create an oral presentation in groups and argue against or for the issue. Let's say life is an attitude. Have a good one. Absolutely. It's funny things about life, if you refuse to accept anything, but the best you often, very often get it. Absolutely. What good is it to want to be the best if the method you use brings about the worst in you? Great, man. That is what we are looking into it. In order to succeed, your desire for success must be greater than your desire for failure. Absolutely stated by Bill Cosby. I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% and how I react to it. So aspects of self concepts is RES, or respects, a feeling of admiring someone or something that is good, valuable, and important. Empathy is when you understand the feeling of others. Remember, feeling of others as if you are feeling themselves in the first hand. Sympathy is acknowledging others person's emotional hardship and providing comfort and assurances thereby. This is what is very important for you to, and the aspects of self concepts is all about here. So, ways to build and maintain positive self concept. One is self observation, also known as self assessment. Awareness that one's own personalities, one's own strengths, one's own weaknesses, which is very important. Accept who you are, set the goals thereby, accept what is the factual thing that can be claimed around, and probably how do you want to go around it. This is what we we are looking for. This is where we are striving and probably excelling ourselves. First and foremost thing is being accepting what you are, what you good at it, and set goals accordingly. So let us understand the situation attitude. So you should be flexible with your situation. Yes, definitely yes. Should be able to change as on when on required, ensuring that your principles are not being compromised, adaptable, capable of being modified to suit different conditions or different purposes, achievement something that somebody has succeeded in not doing, usually with efforts. Performance is the manner in which something or somebody functions, operates, or behave as we are looking forward towards it. So that is what we are interested upon it. Now that is to be clear, you should be flexible, adaptable, achievement, and performance wise you should operate and behave. Talking about behaviors and attitude, remember these are the things that affects the self-worth of oneself and probably of others also. So how do we communicate, reflect on the personal behaviors and attitudes towards others? That's in why you too vociferous, why you too mild, why you too complying oriented. Now develop a feedback technique. Get feedback from anybody and everybody as long as it is helping you. Now basically when do you know feedback is basically a criticism and not helping it to you? When you will find about one particular incident you're taking feedback from a lot of number of people right across the parameter, and the majority of the feedback will be similar, and we will understand that majority of the feedback which is similar is the actual feedback about your performances, is all about it, about your communication style, is all about it, about the behavior or the attitude that you keep on flaunting as a case. So yes, self concept can affect education, can affect achievement. Remember, self concept or self awareness is all at the core of the success of the work. A pessimist sees a difficulty in every opportunity, whereas an optimist sees an opportunity in every difficulties. That is what has been stated by the erstwhile Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Winston Churchill. If you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change the way you think about it, is what been said by Mary Engelbert. Absolutely wonderful saying, which I'm very impressed. Now, if you cannot do anything about the situation, now please mold yourself according to the situation, is what has been done. And as with it, you should always be in have an hunger for success, no matter what the circumstances. If circumstances are going wrong, please ensure that your hunger gets bigger and you capitalize on the circumstances. If things are going good, probably success is actually coming to you or embracing you. So that in that situation, please do not worry around it. So only in the difficult time you should keep your hunger there. You should never get demotivated. You should never start disrespecting yourself. Stop valuing yourself, suffer from an inferiority complex. Let us come to the very last slide for the day. It's an educational achievement. It's a study conducted found that academic self-concept powerfully and positively predicts both the general achievements as well as the language, arts, and mathematics. Is the way you go around it. And academic self-concept actually is a, should I say, a reference point for every individual that he or she is going to excel and understand in terms of the real life situation, words, languages, speech, mathematics. Thus, if a student have a positive academic self-concept, they will perform better in schools and vice versa. With these words, I wind up this particular presentation on self-awareness. Thank you for watching the video.